The Ranch is at the Americana Fest 2023. Now, let's check in with Shayne Hollinger.
Hanging out at Americana Fest with Matt Tedder. How are you, buddy?
I'm great, Shayne.
You just released a new album.
I did, back in June. I recorded it down in Austin at the finishing school.
And a pretty good producer.
Great producer.
Fairly good guy.
Yes, Gordy Quist of the Band of Heathens produced it and did an outstanding job and has become just a great friend. I love all those guys and love their music and, you know.
So you were telling me a story early that you learned of the Band of Heathens because of the ranch.
That's right.
I got to brag on ourselves
yes,
just a little bit.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, I was just driving around Fort Worth one day and I heard I Should Have Known Better on the ranch.
Oh, what a great
and I was
song.
like, what is this,
like, can this
man?
happen?
Yeah. And so I became kind of a super fan of the group and then followed all the guys and then reached out to Gordy, just like shot in the dark, like, hey, let's write a song sometime. And that would go on to be I Can Dream You, the title track of my record. And so, yeah, it's been really good, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out.
Yeah, that Honey Babe song, oh my God, it's such a good song.
I'm glad
man.
you dig it,
I love
man.
that song.
Glad you dig it.
Absolutely love that. You grew up in football town. My kids are going to Alito right now.
I saw that you were wearing a Alito shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how old are your kids?
I've got a sophomore and an 8th grader now.
Okay.
Yeah, 8th grader just decided to play football for the first year ever, and come to find out he's a beast. Had no idea.
There you go.
He's a very, still will give you a hug, very sweet kid, and he gets on a football field, and the Bearcat comes out at him.
Oh, yeah.
But you grew up in football town,
That's
a
it.
town not known for music, so you came to Fort Worth. Well, you came here.
I came to
Tennessee.
Nashville, because, I grew up in a football town, and, at 130 pounds, I was
I
not.
was 132
Yeah,
as a
I
senior.
could maybe kick, but I didn't try, and so I wanted to get out of town, and I moved to Nashville. Lived here about 2 or 3 years, but just Fort Worth was calling me back, and I answered the call, and I'm glad I did. It's just the Texas songwriting tradition, and just like the Band of Heathens, and like James McMurtry and Robert Earl Keen, all these guys, and then the guys who are no longer with us, but just the history of Guy Clark and Townes Van Zandt, all that stuff, like Billy Joe Schaefer. I was just getting kind of turned on to it when I moved back. Like, I wasn't really aware of it whenever I moved away when I was 17, but I came back and I was like, man, Texas we do our own thing here, and I love that, it's just, everyone's just whoever they want to be, instead of trying everyone to be one thing,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
So I've got a great home life there in Fort Worth, and it's been a long week here in Nashville, and I'm excited to get back to Fort Worth later on.
Americana music. What does that mean to Matt Tedder? What is being an Americana artist?
Man, I have no idea.
I know,
in a
I've
way.
asked everybody I've interviewed, and everybody has a different answer.
I think it kind of came from the Rodney Crowells and the Guy Clarks and like the, those types of guys. Emmylou Harris. That, it's country music, but it's not like the most commercial country music. Todd Snyder said, Americana is just less successful country music.
That's a funny way to put it. Todd has that kind of.
He's got a great
swagger. He can get away with.
Oh
saying that,
yeah, great sense of humor.
So you have this great organization with Here Fort Worth that supports all these amazing Fort Worth artists. Man,
they're great, man.
What a blessing to be in a city that actually cares about the music scene.
100%.
A lot of times for most cities, the music is a nuisance.
Yeah.
And like we're trying to report them for noise violations and stuff.
Right.
You have an entire city behind you. How cool is that?
Man, Here Fort Worth, Tom Martin's, and Visit Fort Worth. Yeah, I mean, I lived in Nashville for a few years, Music City, and, I didn't know anything. I wasn't aware of any program like that here. I mean, Fort Worth is just so supportive of the music scene, and we have so many great artists to be proud of, and it's great that we have a city that backs us up and supports it. It makes for a great community, and that's a really cool thing to be a part of,
And I think you said it best, supportive. That's the biggest part about it is Nashville doesn't seems to be competitive.
Yeah.
Here it's like supportive. A lot of great artists that live here.
Yeah.
A lot of Texas artists that live here too. You probably saw that when you were here.
Oh, totally. I mean, yeah, a lot of people in Nashville, they're not from here.
Right.
So,
A lot of
but and a
transplants.
ton of Texas, but yeah, and then. Yeah, we don't have a lot of Tennessee people in Texas.
No.
It doesn't seem like it
I
doesn't
don't
go
know that
both
we do.
ways. Yeah,
I don't know that we do.
Yeah.
Seems to have a lot of California people coming.
yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms.
That's a whole nother. That's an entirely different podcast. Is what that is. So, like when I first saw you, you were doing like really kind of a bluesy rock and roll, really guitar heavy kind of sound. What gravitated you to do more country on this album?
Man, so yeah, I grew up loving the blues and rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad loved classic country music
Okay.
like Merle Haggard, Hank Williams,
Yeah.
and Bob Wills, Lefty Frizzell, people like that, Ray Price. So a lot of classic country, and he passed in 2021, and that was a way for me to feel some comfort during a difficult time, was listening to a lot of the stuff that him and I
Feel like
enjoyed.
he's there with you when that happens?
Right. You know, I mean, I called my dad almost every day, you know, on a long drive, you know, like
Yeah.
we just, you know, talk about whatever's going on and just pass the time. We were really close. So yeah, it was a hard time, but like that music helped me through it. And then it had an influence on me,
Right.
you know, and I found it fit my voice, you know, like
does,
I
it
love
does.
blues and rock and roll, but I don't feel like I'm the best blues singer or rock and roll singer.
Okay.
I feel like I can sing country music a little bit
I
better.
disagree with you, but that's okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey.
it's what you're comfortable with.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah, I feel a little bit more comfortable with country
Well,
music.
that's very It seems like a lot of us as young people, we always revolt against what our parents were listening
For
to.
sure, and I did.
Yeah,
you know,
and
I had those
was
years.
I was a rock and roll guy too. And
Right.
my mom would every time my mom put on the Judd's record on a Saturday, that meant it was time to clean the house. You know,
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
dear God, I hated country music because of that.
Right.
But because I had to clean the house really and make up my bed. But
Yeah.
like, and it seems like we all gravitate back to what we were raised on. Is there a point in your life where you realize you're rooted in that?
And that feels good. That
it
feels
does.
good to find those roots and
comforting.
reconnect with them. Yes, yeah, and you know, that was kind of why Nashville didn't feel like a good fit for me, because I didn't know anyone out here, like, or
Right.
didn't have family or whatever, and that's okay for some people, but I just kind of miss my folks and
Yeah.
and being around family and people that I kind of grew up with. I mean,
There's nothing wrong with
and
that.
just yeah, for sure, nothing wrong with it
I
at
think it
all.
helps you as an artist too.
Yeah,
You get in
and
that comfort zone.
well, and then, like I was saying earlier, I mean, Texas, no one's, I guess, you can follow a mold if you want to, you know, but there's so many different kind of facets. Like, you know, I play Western swing sometimes.
Yeah.
I'll, you know, play some shuffle music with,
Yeah.
you know, dance hall bands. And then, you know, the singer-songwriter scene, and you know, down in Austin, like there's a lot of soul music.
Yeah.
I mean, and then, you know, Dallas has neo soul, so it's like there's all kinds of, like, it's a eclectic mix. And, you know, I know I'm talking about neo soul on a
It's-
country station,
but that's the thing.
but
It's like
Texas has a lot, and
we're,
you know,
we're allowed to do. I mean, we're a
we're-
station that plays Willie Nelson. We play Leon Bridges. You know,
Right.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
that's what's cool about
yeah,
this entire
but
scene. is you
it
can
has
do
a
that.
common thread, you know, and just as long as you're authentically expressing yourself, whatever that is,
Yep.
that seems cool in Texas. We dig that, you
Yeah,
know.
we do. We like the
Yeah.
real. That's,
Yeah.
that's all it is, and just
Yeah.
being honest.
And you know, that's what I felt like. Okay, I know I've done blues rock for a minute,
Yeah.
but I wanted genuinely to play this kind of country tinged version of it, you know, and it just feels like authentically me right now. You know,
Yeah.
that may change,
Yeah.
and that's okay.
And that's the cool thing
And-
about this scene is you did that and you did country, and they're like, awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, that's cool. He
Yeah.
can do that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, and
man.
as a guitar player too, I mean, country music, they got some dang good guitar picking.
You having fun in that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's awesome. So, do you see more country albums?
Do I what?
Do you see more country albums in your future?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever see a just a complete singer songwriter, you and a guitar?
Yeah. And I'm still,
It sounds like you want to experiment.
always.
That's awesome.
always and I think artists should do that. If you feel like you want to make a soul record, go ahead.
Just do it.
Do it. It might be annoying to the audience, but it's okay. Just I do like artists that will do whatever feels comfortable, but yeah, definitely more country albums because I just bought a Martin,
Man,
real nice Martin,
I
and
can't-
just a G chord never sounded so good.
Right.
It's like, okay, I'll start writing
like a
some.
Martin was
yeah.
made for country.
Yeah,
guitars.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Matt Tedder, man, like this new album is absolutely incredible. Like I
Thank
cannot
you,
wait to
Shayne.
see what you come up with next.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
And thanks for chatting with us
Of
today.
course.
And trying to explain what Americana is.
Well,
It's
less successful country music.
It's pretty awesome. Thank you, Todd Snyder. We appreciate you. It's Shayne. It's Matt Tedder from Americana Fest. Thank you.
Thank y'all.